paper is Determinants of Consumer Satisfaction on E-Procurement, Online Purchasing in Sri Lanka. This paper is authored by MKS Dias and L.U. Ranwala. Here the presentation will be done by Miss Lakshmi Ranwala. She is from Colombo International Nautical and Engineering College, that is Sinek campus, Sri Lanka.
Good morning to you all. This is about determinants of consumer satisfaction on e-procurement and online purchasing in Sri Lanka. This is the layout of the presentation. Online purchasing and e-procurement is a developing industry in Sri Lanka, and during past 2 years online purchasing has developed rapidly, and there are some local websites as well very popular among the consumers in Sri Lanka. So a consumer only needs a computer, mobile phone and internet connection to connect to the cyber world and make their purchases. So online purchasing has been a dominant factor around the world where marketers offer their products and services in online stores. So the objective of this study is to measure the overall customer satisfaction on online purchasing and e-procurement, and to determine the factors that affect the consumer satisfaction on online purchasing and e-procurement. These are some of the literatures that I reviewed. So due to the unavailability of secondary data sources, primary data collection has been done through the questionnaire survey, and a simple random sample of 350 respondents has been selected, and the response rate is 78%. So first of all, descriptive analysis has been carried out to check the relationship between overall satisfaction and the other factors. So after that, the factor analysis has been carried out due to the collinearity existing in the data. After that, reliability test has been carried out to check the reliability of the extracted factors, and hypothesis testing finally carried out from the reliable factors. And when we consider the overall customer satisfaction, it is 66% of customers are satisfied about the experience and all online purchasing and e-procurement. Only 6% are dissatisfied. When we consider the online shopping behavior, distribution of online shopping behavior by gender, majority of these consumers are male gender. So when we consider the age group, there's a high tendency, that means 82% of the respondents aged between 16 and 25, which we identified that online purchasing, e-procurement is very popular among young adults. So when we consider the income of the distribution of online shopping, 67% of the respondents, their income level is below 20,000. So there we found the relationship to the age, because age distribution 16 to 25, they may be the young adults after, that means they may be employed or just employed. So that may be the reason behind that majority of them income group is below 20,000. And when we consider the preferences of respondents in different categories available in online stores, majority of them are happy to, that means prefer towards electronic items, and somewhat considerable amount buying clothes, and E-ticketing, that means electronic items, clothes, e-tickets were the main popular items. So when we consider the preference of the respondents towards these different online stores, eBay was the most popular online store. And when we consider the local websites, ikman.lk, wow.lk were popular, and in addition to that, AliExpress also popular among these respondents. So when we consider the responses of the respondents for the customer satisfaction, when we consider the information quality, 75% of the respondents were satisfied about the information quality provided by the online stores. The user friendliness, it's about 70%, and 60% of them satisfied about the product variation offered, and 60% of them are again satisfied about the price of the product in online stores, and 50% of them are satisfied about the response time, 40% of them are happy about the security provided to them, and 45% about their privacy. 60% of them are satisfied about the payment systems offered by these online stores, and 45% only satisfied about the delivery speed. And customer service before it is satisfaction level is 53%, and customer service after sales it is about 40%. So due to the collinearity exists in the data set, factor analysis has been carried out. So first of all, KMO test static has been used to check the sampling adequacy for the satisfactory factor analysis. So as the value of KMO test statistics is 0.831, it supports the, that means sampling is adequate to carry out the factor analysis. So after that, Bartlett test statistics has been checked. So according to the test results, correlation matrix is not an identity matrix. It further supports the relationship between explanatory variables. So the factor model, mainly 3 factors are identified from the factor model as aspects of consumer satisfaction on e-procurement and online purchasing. So the total variance, 61% of the total variance is being explained by the factor model, where first factor counts 38.6%, second factor 13.2%, and the third factor 8.9%. So 3 factors has been named as customer service, security and payment, and product information. That means aspects of the consumer satisfaction on our e-procurement is customer service, security and payments, and product information. So to check the reliability of the extracted factors, Cronbach's alpha has been used. So according to the results of the alpha value, it has been identified that 3 factors are reliable. So finally, the hypothesis testing using Kruskal-Wallis test has been carried out to check the relationship between these factors and the demographic data. So the first factor, customer service, experience by online users is highly depending on the purpose of browsing, and the payment and security factor, that is depending on the usage, that is frequently they use online stores. And the product information received by the online users is again depending on the usage of the consumer. So finally, we made conclusions that 66% of the respondents are satisfied with the online purchasing e-procurement in Sri Lanka. And consumers' dissatisfaction rate is quite high for these factors: response time, security, privacy, delivery speed, and customer service after sales. So consumer satisfaction rate is high for user friendliness, quality, product variation, price of products, payment systems, and customer service before sales. So we recommend that develop more local online purchasing website, as it is an emerging trend in Sri Lanka among consumers. So the secure delivery of packages should be performed by the online stores, and more video information of product to inspect the product, it is recommended to online stores. And frequent users should be encouraged by online stores by giving discounts or these special offers, so on. So new payment methods, because there are some consumers reluctant to make online payments, so the new payment methods such as cash on delivery options can be offered to the consumers by hopefully the local websites, local stores. Thank you.
I think it's a very valuable research. We get more insight about consumer satisfaction on e-procurement. I think this can be continue further, do more analysis. Thank you. Even the next paper is determinant of customer satisfaction in third-party logistics outsourcing relationship in Sri Lanka. This research was conducted by Mr. P.B. Hettiarachchi and Ms. L.U. Ranwala. The presentation will be done by again Ms. Lakshmi Ranwala.
Thank you. Determinants of customer satisfaction in 3PL logistics outsourcing relationship in Sri Lanka. So this is the layout, and the main introduction, actually the logistics outsourcing is again an emerging trend in Sri Lanka. So many companies are trying to outsource their logistics activities to outside parties to focus on their core competencies. So therefore, third-party logistics industry is a strategic arm for today's companies. So main objective of the research to identify the overall customer satisfactions, and after that to determine the important factors significant factors that affect the consumer satisfaction in third-party logistics outsourcing relationship in Sri Lanka. These are the some of the literatures. So again, due to the unavailability of secondary data sources, primary data gathering has been carried out in data collection. Large-scale public listed companies which were using third-party logistics services in Sri Lanka considered as the target population of the research, and it consists of 104 companies. This is the breakdown of the this 104. And the sample of 50 companies has been selected as the target sample for the research. So in the same manner, descriptive analysis has been first of all carried out, and after that due to the collinearity, factor analysis has been carried out, reliability test and hypothesis testing in the same manner. So when we consider the overall customer satisfaction in 3PL outsourcing relationship in Sri Lanka, 63% of the customers are satisfied about their 3PL relationship. When we consider the demographic profile of the respondents, because we distributed 5 questionnaires to one company, so majority of the respondents were executives, that is, the percentage is 66%, and 21% of them are managers. So when we consider the category of the industry, 80% of these is from apparel industry, and 39% from fast moving consumer goods, and 25% import and export. So that means when we consider the category of the industry, majority of it is from apparel industry. So when we consider the average length of the 3PL contract, approximately 40% of the companies, they maintain 6 to 10 years 3PL contract, and again 26% of them 0 to, that means 1 to 5 years length of their 3PL contract. So when we consider pay attention on the purpose of adopting this 3PL service in Sri Lanka, so majority of them are using 3PL for domestic and international purpose. That is approximately 65%. So when we consider the authorized person for undertaking the decisions regarding outsourcing logistics relationship, that means approximately 50% of the company says that the logistics manager is the one who is responsible to undertake the decisions regarding logistics outsourcing, and 30% of them says the manager supply chain, and it's very low that production manager and manager sales and marketing take decisions on regarding the outsourcing logistics services. So when we consider the preferred reason to outsource the logistics party of the particular company, 97%, that means almost all companies stated that the main preferred reason is the cost reduction, and 90% of them says that to focus on their core business, and 85% says that reduction in capital investment, to reduce their capital investment, and 54% of them says that to enhance the operational flexibility in the organization. When we consider the profile of the used 3PL services in the industry, 75% of them are outsourcing their warehouse operations, and 66% of them outsource their distributions, and 55% of them outsource their freight forwarding part, 65% of them shipment consolidation, and 51% of them fleet operations. That means warehouse operations, fleet operations, freight forwarding, distribution, and shipment consolidations were the more main services used in 3PL. So again, advanced analysis has been carried out, that means fact analysis. Came out as statistics 0.939, which very much support to the sampling adequacy. That means the collected sample is adequate to carried out the fact analysis. So the as the p-value of the Bartlett test is almost 0, null hypothesis, that means alternative hypothesis has been accepted, and the relationship among explanatory variables were well explained. So altogether 4 factors has been extracted, and the factor model explains 63% of the total variance, where factor 1 accounts 49.11, factor 2, factor 3 and factor 4 explains 5.6%, 4.5% and 3.7% respectively. So extracted 4 factors, and we identified these 4 factors: tangible image and trust, which is factor 1, empathy and relationship, factor 2, reliability and responsiveness, factor 3, and assurance, factor 4. So again, reliability analysis has been carried out. According to the Cronbach alpha value, all factors are reliable. So hypothesis testing on, that means aspects of the consumer satisfaction has been identified as tangible image and trust, empathy and relationship, reliability and responsiveness, and assurance. So all 4 factors were highly affecting to the consumer satisfaction and significant in deciding overall customer satisfaction in 3PL relationship. So when we come to a conclusion, overall customer satisfaction on 3PL relationship is 63%, and factors affecting to this 3PL relationship is tangible image and trust, empathy and relationship, reliability and responsiveness, and assurance. So majority of the respondents highlighted that the importance of new ICT applications in 3PL industry, and importance of carrying out time-to-time customer satisfaction surveys. And some of the respondents pointed out the importance of information sharing and good communication between 2 parties. Thank you.
Okay. It's another way of customer satisfaction. The customer satisfaction of the companies regarding their activities. That is again good information. Thank you.